from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio, this is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report.
How many times have you said
August.
that, Scott?
I don't know, whenever I started doing that.
No, I know that, but probably show one.
I don't think I did in show one.
Really?
No, I was talking to my buddy that I work with, and he's like, all the YouTube guys, they have like a saying that they use whenever they start their videos.
That must be it.
So
Welcome, race fans.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, it's even in my show notes in case I forget it, because I might forget it, you know.
That's sad, Scott.
Welcome to show number 94, and also welcome to August. Hard to believe it's August already.
Yeah, well, I think May and June both rained out, so.
I think I've got like 4 races this year, if that.
And you've done a significant amount of damage.
I did. I did a whole season's worth of damage.
We were just discussing that before we went on the air, yeah.
Live from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio, this is the Hammer Down Racing Report. I'm Scott Hammer. Ron Miller over there tonight with us. Bubba Cundick, William Cundick.
I'd like to go by Bubba, but
okay,
call me what you want.
Bill?
I've been called Bill Jr.
I've been
Bubba,
called worse
Will,
things.
William.
So we'll be talking to him, bomber driver out at Oakshade. Just picked up his first A-Main win. Did it pretty impressively, too, after getting almost upside down in the heat race. So we'll talk
Really,
about
he
that.
kind of stunk the feature up.
Well, actually, we were talking about my invisible car,
Yeah.
which actually won that whole thing. But you didn't see it because it was invisible. I lapped the field. It was crazy.
For sure.
Coming at you live on Facebook, also YouTube Live, Twitter, and Periscope. Make sure to like us on Facebook if you haven't done so as of yet. Follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report. And, of course, you can listen to us on demand on your favorite podcasting platform, including iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Google. Give Ron a call if you have some service needs, like you break your car, do a season's worth of damage to your car. Take it around. He'll fix it.
And we've been doing quite a bit of that lately, yeah.
Was there a lot of damage you had to fix from this past weekend's action?
A little bit on my own car, and
What'd you do to your car?
it wasn't me.
All right, whatever.
It was a number 20 car, and it wasn't a local guy. And
There was 2 number 20s.
Yeah.
There was a Chad White and a Troy Hahn.
It was the one that's not the local guy.
Okay.
I was going to send him a friend request on Facebook and tell him how much I enjoyed racing with him and hope he came back real soon.
You're very sincere.
Read between the lines, Scott.
734-856-7223 if that number 20 would like to give Ron a call, or if you'd like to call Ron and order some parts or get some advice, whatever.
Yeah.
The Hammer Down.
Bomber tires, Sportsman tires.
Speaking of bomber tires, if you're looking for some tires for the Hammer Down Racing Report Dirty 30 coming up on October 3rd at Sandusky Speedway, you got tires.
You fit that in there really nicely,
there was
Scott.
some tire talk about, if you haven't heard about the Dirty 30, we're going to be running UMP Dirt late models, the trucks and bombers together, Fremont trucks, Oakshade bombers, 2-barrel carburetor for the bombers.
Right.
And
with the Oakshade bomber cars, if you just take the little link pin off of the back 2 barrels, the track is fine with that. That basically makes your 4-barrel a 2-barrel.
Front-wheel drive cars will also be in action. It's going to be dirt cars versus asphalt cars for the front-wheel drive. Running on asphalt. We're not putting any dirt down. It's just mostly dirt cars running on the asphalt.
Well, it is just dirt cars, because I think...
Well, except for the front-wheel drives.
Yeah, now if a pavement late model showed up...
We were not going to turn them away, are we? Well, they have to run UMP rules, though.
Right.
How would that work? Who's doing the teching? Chris, who's doing the teching?
Yeah, well...
We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, Chris, what would happen if a pavement late model showed up with dirt tires? Because that's a very specific part of the rule, that you've got to run either the LM late model UMP tires or the MD56, which is the tire that's pretty prevalent up in Michigan.
Well, I know Chris and Don over at Sandusky Speedway, they just got done with the High Miler weekend, and so now they're going to have more time to focus on getting the rest of the details put together for
It looked like that was a pretty successful weekend for them, too.
We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Also, they did say that they do have hand jobs officially on board as a sponsor.
Oh, right.
The nail salon right down the street.
Oh, come on.
Sandusky Speedway.
You've got to fill everybody in. There's a nail salon just down the street, and it's called Handjob Nail Salon.
Something like that. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
And they made the sign because Sandusky Speedway has their own sign printing business out front. It's like a separate thing. They actually made the sign for Handjob. We learned that when we had Chris Mize in the studio back, what was that, December?
Yeah, when they initially put
it was, I don't think they opened until March, so it was the spring.
When they initially put the sign up, it caused quite a stir, but I guess it settled down, and I thought it was a pretty catchy name.
So I don't think he was messing with me when he said officially Handjobs is part of the Hammer Down Racing Report Dirty 30. I'm not sure
cool.
what the sponsorship is or what's involved there, but he was talking about raising the pay for the Bomber truck class to $800 as opposed to $400 to win.
Ooh.
So the front wheel drives are already at $800 to win. I think they still have to work the rest of the field's payout on that, but so things are still
now
in the works.
If you're racing in the truck and bomber class, don't get too far ahead of yourself. That's where we think it's going to land, but it's not official yet. Correct?
Not yet, I don't think.
Okay.
Other than Handjobs is official. That's the only part I know. And
nothing's better than no. Don't go there. Forget it.
Again, it's part of a 3-day weekend at Sandusky Speedway. The what weekend is the Cavalcade weekend? That's right. And they're going to be running Thursday night. They just added this. Chris Mize, actually, a couple months ago, came up with the idea and rented the track. So they're going to be running this dirt show on asphalt on that Thursday night. It will October 3rd.
It'll be a prelude to the Cavalcade.
Yeah. So and maybe it'll be an annual event if we get enough people out there. Yeah. We're going to do the show live out there on Thursday, October 3rd, right before the event. We still got to figure out the details
some time adjustments. Yeah.
If the race time is 7, we're probably not going to be on at 7 since I believe we're both going to be competing. So
if hot laps are at 7, that could be a real trick.
And if you want to come out, or if you're planning on racing, we have a form you can fill out. Go to hammerdownracingreport.com. I have a page set up. It's got all the information on there, all of the folks that have planned on being there.
I think there's a link on our Facebook page.
There's a link on the Facebook page, to the actual form to fill out. It's just like your name and class and where you're from. And there's no obligation. Doesn't cost you anything to do that.
It's just so we would like to know your intent.
Yes.
If you think you'd like to be there, we'd sure like to have you.
And we have a special guest on the show tonight. I brought my wiener with me.
Nothing
if you're
wrong
listening,
with that.
if you're listening on the podcast and you don't see the video, it's my wiener dog. Just to be clear on that. Since we were talking about
and she's really
nail
cute.
salon place, I want to be very clear on what's going on. All right, you need to go down. You're tangled here. So, for more information on the Hammer Down Racing Report Dirty 30 at Sandusky Speedway, Thursday, October 3rd, check out hammerdownracingreport.com. Forgot to mention, we're going to talk to Buck Smitley, owner and promoter at Hilltop Speedway.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
They had some issues, I guess, this past weekend where they dropped a class due to some threats being made that they took pretty seriously. That's about all the details I know. I didn't talk to him that much. I did speak to him a little bit to set it up, and I said, I don't want to know the story yet. I want you to tell me, when we're doing the show.
We want to be as stunned as everyone else.
So we'll find out what's going to be going on, what's going on at Hilltop with the mini stocks. About 7:30 we'll be calling him. About 20 minutes from now. So, looking forward to that. A lot of racing around the area, right?
No rain.
Yeah.
No rain.
Yeah, I think that's what Dave sent me with his little updates. He sent me, he was like, nobody rained out. Like all week, nobody rained out. Last night, there was some action at Eldora Speedway. There's some action there tonight, as a matter of fact. So we're going to try and wrap up the show as quickly as possible so we could probably get home in time for the feature for the Eldora Dirt Derby going on.
No overtime tonight.
Is there? No, because they run it like a regular dirt track show.
Yeah, heat races and everything.
Anyways, last night they had practice for the NASCAR Gander Outdoor Truck Series. I'll tell you about some times here in a second. First off, Eric Rudolph was the winner in the Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modified feature. Now, setting quick time last night in practice in the trucks was Chase Briscoe. Matt Crafton was second quick.
Woohoo!
Thor Motorsport there. Dirt late model racer and modified racer Kyle Strickler was ninth quick. Mike Marlar, late model racer there, was 13th quick. Sprint car racer Mark Smith was 20th. 16-year-old 2017 Berlin Raceway track champion Carson Hosuvar.
Did you catch?
He was 21st quick.
Did you catch the little bit of controversy with Mike Marlar?
I do. I have that in my notes. We'll talk more about that a little bit
Okay.
later. Some other results from this past weekend. Lima Land Motorsports Park in action Friday night. Jared Horseman, again, another win for him.
Almost unbeatable there.
His NRA 360 sprint car action there. His fourth win of the year. Last week's modified feature winner Jerry Bowersock came up one spot short this past Friday. Shane O'Connor got the win there in the modifieds. Tony Anderson was the Thunderstock winner.
I think Drew Smith finished 7th in the modified.
Okay. Attica Raceway Park was in action. Caleb Griffith held off Jack Hodenshield Friday night for the Attica Fremont Championship Series 410 Sprint feature. There's only a couple races left in the AFCS, and I guess it's a real tight point battle, too. So, yeah. I changed my sounds. I have the most metal phone now. Jamie Miller beat Tyler Gunn by 0.08 of a second in the 305 AFCS feature at Attica on Friday night.
That's about the blink of an eye, Scott.
Yeah. And fiery Matt Irie bested Ryan Missler for the late model feature win. Toledo Speedway was in action. Greg Stillwell Jr. won his first late model sportsman feature event Friday night. I didn't realize that was his first.
Ever.
That's crazy.
Oh, Scott. He's
a nice guy, too.
They were elated. Yeah, they're good friends, good customers. And
he's always representing the asphalt guys at the Bowling Green Mall show every year, too. So
we're going to have to get him on.
I think we could do that.
Do we know people that could make that happen?
Two of them talking right now, probably.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
What else do we got here? Oh, he also was the winner of the 3-race mini-series championship, the RM Recycling Silver Cup. Yeah.
Nice trophy.
Really? I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have something to do with it?
No.
Okay. Jeremy Vanderhoof led all 20 laps of the figure 8 feature, and Matt Ringer did the same in the factory stocks feature.
Matt Ringer is seriously looking at an Oakshade Sportsman car. So we may be seeing Matt Ringer very soon. What?
Oh, nothing. I saw Chris Mize made a post yanking that sponsor as bull. I thought we were still on the whole hand jobs thing. He was talking about the NASCAR thing.
Oh, okay,
else.
Yeah.
I was like, what is Chris talking about? If you got a comment, feel free to leave a comment there. Dave knows Greg as well on our Facebook Live, if you're watching on Facebook Live right now. Fremont Speedway was in action on Saturday night. DJ Foose took the 410 sprint win, the AFCS win there on Saturday. Paul Weaver was the 305 winner. Sean Valeni pocketed $1,100. The truck
that was a big deal.
Race purse went up to $1,100 to win. I know it was like $900. We were talking about it last Thursday on the show.
And we had assumed that it was going to go to 1,000, and last minute it went to 11.
Yeah, so pretty crazy, and a nice chunk of change there for Sean, who seems to know how to get around a circle pretty well,
especially in the dirt trucks. Yeah.
Our guest last week picked up a couple feature wins. Rusty Schlenk earned win 200 at I-96 on Friday night to keep up with our tradition of come on the show and win. So you're doing it backwards. You won and then you're coming on the show. So I don't know how that's going to work out.
I'm hoping I can win this
I
week.
guess he's going to have to do it again.
I guess so. So he won, did a clean sweep the weekend, won Friday at I-96, and then Saturday he got win number 201 after starting mid-pack in the 5,500 to win Barney Oldfield American Late Model Series race at Oakshade. Jerry Signer picked up his second career sportsman win. And this dude over here, Bubba, led the entire distance of the Bomber A-Main after slamming into the embankment by one of the light poles and almost rolling the car over. He got up on two wheels. Was that pretty exciting?
Everybody says I got pretty high on my side.
It looked pretty high.
I
could
couldn't
see
really
the
tell
bottom of the
inside
car.
I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
All right.
But, of course, she was freaking out, texting everybody in the pits.
What was she texting? Is he okay? Is the car? Was it you or the car she was concerned with?
She was concerned about me. She didn't care about the car.
All right.
For sure. I know with Mrs. Miller over there, sometimes she's more concerned about the car than the driver.
Well, you got to be concerned about the important things. Corey Gum won his fifth straight compact feature. Dylan Burt won his second Bomber B-Main.
How close is Corey Gum to a record on straight consecutive wins?
I don't know. I could look it up because I have dating back to when we started Four Cylinders. I have a spreadsheet shows all the feature winners. I'd have to look.
I thought I had heard that 6 consecutive was the record.
I'll look that up before Saturday night.
Very good.
I'll report back next weekend.
Oh, fine.
Or next week on the show.
Thank you.
Flat Rock Speedway was in action on Saturday as well with the Stan Yee Memorial 150. Brian Bergaker took the lead on lap 49 and went on to victory on Saturday. Craig Everidge finished second, followed by Jeff Versick. Sandusky Speedway, full weekend of racing action there, Thursday through Saturday. Eric Johnson won in the Renegades on Thursday. Jeff Kuykendall took the victory in the street stocks. Charlie Schultz was the crate sprint winner, and Sean Reinke won the Lake Erie stocks. Friday night, Jim Paller led all 40 laps of the ISMA Super Modified feature for his first ISMA win on Friday night at Sandusky. So that's pretty big.
That's a big deal.
Doug Meyer was the modified feature winner. On Saturday, Dave Schulich Jr. won his fourth high miler over Mike Lichty and Michael Barnes. Doug Meyer won for the second consecutive nights in the modifieds.
Scott, if you ever get a chance to get up close and personal, take a look at those ISMA Super Modifieds. They're very impressive.
Impressive how? I know they're fast. I've seen them.
Just the engineering involved.
Okay. What else we got here? The Ollie's Bargain Outlets All-Star Circuit of Champions had some some fun times. Not necessarily on the racetrack. Australian James McFadden got the win at Plymouth Dirt Track on Thursday night last week, a week ago tonight. He followed that win up with another at Jackson Motorplex on Friday night, which was when some excitement happened in the pits.
Those darn Aussies have been taking a whole lot of our money.
Crazy Aussies.
Ready to take it.
Tony Stewart, I guess, blew his motor on Friday night, was competing in that, and signing some autographs in the pits, and Heckler was bugging him there. And
got a little unruly.
All caught on camera, and Tony darted after him and threw a left-handed punch at the guy, and you could hear it connect. There you go. So, and I haven't seen anything about any charges or anything else that's come up. I know it's made national news quite a bit.
Well, he owns the series.
Week.
He can't ban himself, Scott.
Well, I mean, the guy could have filed charges or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Or maybe he's...
Gee, that'd be a first.
I saw a lot of comments that were like, well, that's what happens when you're not behind the keyboard, or you're not behind the keyboard anymore.
That's it.
So, there you go. Gio Scelzi became the youngest All-Star Circuit of Champion feature winner, winning at Knoxville Raceway on Saturday night. He is 17 years old and 8 months. That doesn't seem that young, but I was actually surprised by that. That's the youngest.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a tough series. So, Tony Stewart, then he got the win on Sunday over Rico Abreu and Christopher Bell at 34 Raceway on Sunday.
Did you see that little video clip of Rico Abreu being in a...
I saw that just this morning. It was,
yeah.
Spare parts and spare driver. He was in a drawer. I was like, I don't think that's politically correct, but...
He thought it was pretty funny.
I guess he did. That guy's a character.
He is.
He's got those hats with the hair. I saw Zach Dome had a video. I think his girlfriend had a video of him with one of those Rico Abreu hats on with the hair.
Yeah.
Like, at first I didn't realize that he was wearing a hat. I was like, where'd he get that hat? I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, all right.
Coming up for the All-Star Circuit of Champions, they're going to be off for a few weeks. They'll be back in action August 16th at I-96 Speedway up there in Lake Odessa, Michigan. World of Outlaw, NOS Energy Drink, Sprint Car Series. Tim Schaefer went to victory lane at Williams Grove Speedway last Thursday night. Donnie Schatz won at Williams Grove on Saturday for the first time in 4 years. Coming up for those guys, Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 on Friday and Saturday this weekend. Then they're going to be in Knoxville for the Knoxville Nationals next Wednesday through, Saturday? Yeah.
Our good friend Des here would like very much to be there if his container shows up in time. We've got a...
In Knoxville?
Yeah, he would very much like to head over there.
What's in the container?
Just motorcycles and a car and... Stuff headed back for Australia.
Okay.
That's another thing that Ron Miller Race Cars does.
You ship things?
Yeah.
Wow, you're like UPS and FedEx of race car stuff, of vehicles.
Only cheaper.
Oh. I wouldn't think it's that cheap to ship that kind of stuff. World of Outlaw Morton Buildings Late Model Series action. 72 World of Outlaw late models battled Friday at Fairbury American Legion Speedway for the Prairie Dirt shootouts, which would set the first 8 rows for Saturday's Prairie Dirt Classic. Friday's winners included Brandon Shepard, Bobby Pierce, Chris Ferguson, and Shane Clanton. Monday at Plymouth Dirt Track, Brandon Shepard dominated. Shane Clanton beat Brandon Shepard on Tuesday at Shawano Speedway, and coming up for those guys, Cedar Lake Speedway on Tuesday. Cedar Lake Speedway tonight through Saturday for the USA Nationals. So a whole weekend.
A lot of big races.
Yeah. Dirt Car Summer Nationals action. Yeah. Even though we crowned the champion a couple weeks ago at Oakshade Raceway, they had one last makeup race. It was the one at Lincoln Speedway. It was originally scheduled for June 30th, but the race was stopped on lap 15 due to rain. Brian Shirley picked up the win there. He was also, of course, the champion of the Summer Nationals. While sitting in the studio last week, Rusty Schlenk managed a 16th place finish.
Really?
Yeah. That's pretty good, huh?
Well,
because he ran the first 15 laps, so he got 16th. And that's it.
That's it
for the Dirt Car Summer Nationals. It's over till next year.
You going to have your late model ready by then?
You can turn my car into a late model?
I could.
A blend line violation cost Todd Gilliland a potential win at Pocono on Friday. Christian Eckes went on to score the win there. ARCA is off until August 18th when they go dirt racing at the Illinois State Fairgrounds. Oh, and I forgot to... How did this get in the ARCA part? Brandon Shepard was the winner on Saturday's Prairie Dirt Classic there at Falls.
Okay.
Missed that. NASCAR action. Ross Chastain dominated Pocono in the Gander Outdoor Truck Series. Coming up for them, of course, tonight, the Dirt Derby at Eldora. Chase Briscoe overcame a pit road penalty on Saturday night to win at Iowa Speedway in Xfinity Series action. They're going to be at Watkins Glen on Saturday, 3 o'clock on NBC. Denny Hamlin won Sunday at Pocono in Cup action after conserving fuel. They'll be back in action at Watkins Glen on Sunday as well. Also, 3 p.m., but that'll be on NBC SN. IndyCar Series action. 5-time champ Scott Dixon got his 6th win at Mid-Ohio Road Course on Sunday. And IndyCar is off until the 18th when they're at Pocono. So that's it. That's all the racing action from this past weekend. Just a couple other news bits here. Jimmy Johnson will have a new crew chief starting this weekend at Watkins Glen. Cliff Daniels will replace Kevin Meandering. Is that how you pronounce his name?
I think.
Yeah. Johnson is 17 points behind the cut line and making the playoffs.
He has not had a real spectacular year.
He hasn't really been spectacular in a while. Is it because he's not working with Chad Canals?
Not sure it's a crew chief issue. But
is it an equipment issue? Is it a...
I can't believe it.
Driver ran out of talent issue?
Driver might have run out of drive.
Oh. How old is he?
84.
That makes sense. That checks out. He must use some real good oil or something on his face.
I think he's 42.
Is he?
I think.
Yeah, I guess he is getting up there.
Man, somebody will tell us here in just a minute if you...
Probably, yeah. They're interviewing Jack Hewitt in the pits at Eldora. Speaking of Eldora, Mike Marlar was forced to remove the Marathon logos from his truck that he had on there. It was Marathon Gas that was his sponsor.
Right. His primary sponsor on his dirt late model, and they had signed on to help him with the truck program.
And the reason was because Sunoco is the official
race fuel of NASCAR,
which also means it's the exclusive fuel of NASCAR. So he had to take that off. I don't know how that's going to affect his... It seems like it's probably a better deal that he had to take it off because now we're talking about it, where if they didn't make him take off the Marathon logo, you probably wouldn't even have noticed it.
Probably.
So, I don't know. I guess that maybe it's
Just leave
even wash there. Where's Bubba? Bubba's over there.
Say something. Talk for a minute,
Who's
Bubba.
Betty? Who's Betty?
Oh, that's my grandmother.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was mom or what. We'll be talking here to Buck Smitley we'll give him a few more minutes before we give him a call. Again, they had that issue where they dropped the mini stock class. It was like the post went out at like 9:40 in the morning for a race that was Saturday night.
Right.
So they're like, okay, the mini stock classes, we're dropping it. So not much notice there. And the mini stock class, I guess, was like the compacts at Oakshade.
Right.
4-cylinder. I believe that's what it is. So I guess we could probably call him now.
I'd give him a call.
Let's give him a call, and then we'll talk to Bubba about his racing career before we wrap up the show. Has nothing to do with NASCAR sponsors. Okay. Important there. Talk about Ron Miller race cars and why people should give that business a call and their money.
They should give us a call because it's best to support your local businesses, whether it's Ron Miller Race Cars or any of the other 4 or 5 speed shops in the area. But it's best to take care of the folks that take care of you. And I think at Ron Miller Race Cars, I think we've got a very good program and a lot of years of experience, and we can help you with your racing program. Whether it's drag racing, circle track racing, we built a drag car not that long ago, and they had it out the first time this weekend. It's very impressive.
Did it win?
He won his first round.
Okay. I know he had a dinner he had to go to, so he was. Okay. That's why we were pushing it back a little. So hopefully he's done with that.
Hello, it's Hilltop.
Hi, is this Buck?
Yeah, it's Buck.
Hey, Buck, it's Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, the Hammer Down Racing Report. How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Now, you are the owner and promoter of Hilltop Speedway?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's what I do.
And you had...
What do you do for fun? Boy, that...
Well, it's... I don't know. It's pretty fun down there, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you had a post that got a lot of attention on was it Saturday morning about dropping the mini stock class at Hilltop. Explain to us what's been going on, what happened, what led to that decision, and what's the feedback been since then?
Well, what happened was a few weeks ago we had a big show down there for the mini stocks. Now, last year we had one for $5,000 to win.
Wow!
Everything went smooth for the mini stocks, and these guys, they're good. They're good people, but there's a few of them that just got out of hand, and they got this past week. We had this other show 2 weeks ago, and the fight broke out there, which wasn't the drivers, actually, some of the fans. And there was a couple drivers that were suspended. But what happened this past weekend was this late cancel was due to, we were bringing them back, no problem. But I got a few phone calls, and they were telling me that, you can't let so-and-so run, and you got to do this. They were trying to tell me what to do, how to run my racetrack.
That doesn't work, does it?
No, you can't do that. I mean, we have rules to go by. You have to go by those rules, and you got to follow the rules. And you can't tell me how to run my racetrack. I mean, that's not the way it works. And, we're putting on this really good show for you, and you just gotta abide by the rules, pretty much. And we just had a few guys that were causing problems, and of course they called complaining because I had suspended them from the prior 2 weeks ago, and they were pretty upset. And they made a few comments about threatening, they're going to come up there and do a little damage to some of these other drivers, or they were just basically blowing off steam.
So
it was kind of a threat. I just thought, well, you know what? Maybe we'll just not run them tonight. And Jesse, my promoter and I, we decided that, hey, this is probably what's best, because we were running that Ultimate Late Model show that night, and we don't want trouble there. And it was the late models night, and I just didn't want to take a chance of bringing any more problems. So they're back on for tomorrow, and we should be good to go. I mean, I had to suspend 8 people.
Wow.
And they're not coming back until I gave them a 2-week suspension. So
the class
we'll go from there.
The class is coming back then this weekend, then, minus the drivers that are suspended. Okay.
Yes, we don't have, and like I said, they're a good group of guys. There's just a few of them that we have problem with, and it's not all drivers. It was some of the fans too.
I was kind of concerned that it might be some internet jockeys that were really bashing the racetrack and causing problems. At least they had the courtesy of calling you.
Are you there? Did we lose you?
Hello.
I think we lost him.
Oh, no.
Oh, yep, that sounds like we lost him. Should we call him back?
Got a redial on that?
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's a redial. We got a new phone system.
Yeah.
Apparently it's working great. Just got it in the other day. All right, let's try this again. No, I don't remember if I dialed the 9 yet. I have to dial 9 and a 1. And make sure not to dial 911.
So if your finger stuttered on the 1, we'd have extra company in the studio?
Probably, yeah. Probably wouldn't be good. Oh, good. I guess I did hit enough number. I wasn't sure I hit enough numbers. Again, trying to reconnect here with Buck Smitley.
Hello, you've reached Hilltop Speedway. We will be racing.
I wonder if his phone...
Kids Night, regular racing event.
Well,
we'll see if we
might
can
as well
leave
give a
message.
plug for Hilltop Speedway.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Buck. This is Scott Hammer, Ron Miller again. Hammer Down Race Report. Give us a call. I think our number is still the same. 419-214-0925. I'm not sure what happened, but we lost you there.
Again, Buck, that's 419-214-0925.
If you get this within the next few minutes, and again, good luck this weekend, and it was nice talking to you if we don't hear back from you. Okay. And there we go.
Off to Bubba Cundick.
Yeah, let's talk about Bubba Cundick.
How long have you been racing, Bubba?
At Oakshade or?
Ever.
Get up on that microphone. Get a little close. There you go.
If you want to count, go-karts, I wouldn't say we raced them.
You beat the heck out of them.
Yeah, rolled them.
Hurt some people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
that doesn't count.
The way we started out, the way I started out is we lived in Toledo, and we had a huge backyard, and my uncle and my dad built me a go-kart, and I don't remember when they got it for me. I just always remember having it. And my dad would always, he'd ride on the back of it when I was real little and go with me, and he had a governor on it, and soon enough I was able to go without the governor, and then he put a roll cage on it. Did you learn how to defeat the governor by yourself, or did you wait for Dad to do it? No, I waited for Dad to do it. But, he put a cage on it, so I was safe, seatbelt, helmet, everything. And we actually we didn't build it. We had a track in the backyard just from going around so much. Sure. We've got one of those. It was a good, 2 to 3 carts wide, and it was banked and everything. Like, it was the real deal. And he would set cones up for me and, tell me to stay in this groove or, go there. And then I did that for a long time, and I'd race with my sister and my uncles. They would come out. We would always put like fancy bodies on the go-karts and stuff. And were there any family members that had raced before you, or? My dad, he raced way back in the day. I can't tell you when. He was probably in his 20s.
In this area?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, he raced at Oakshade.
Okay.
So, and I remember going through photo albums, and I would see his pictures, and he had so many cars, because back in the day, you'd go out there and wreck one up and get another one put together and just keep going at it. And yeah, I saw the photo album, and I was like, I want to do something like that. And I raced a go-kart until I outgrew it pretty much. And then I've been going to Oakshade forever, since I was probably 8 years old with my uncle, and just watching and going there every week. And then they came out with the Hornet class. I don't know what year that was. Probably,
I think it was 08 maybe.
I was going to say it's been an honest 10 years.
Yeah.
I started in 08, and they were out a couple years before that, I believe. And so they started, and I was going there every week watching, and I was begging my mom. I'm like, Mom, I want to do this so bad. Well, a couple years went by, and I remember we got back from the track, and we went up to the campground on a Sunday, and my mom asked me, she says, Bubba, how bad do you want to race? And I'm like, more than anything. Like, what do you mean, how bad do I want to race? And I was only 14 years old at the time.
Right.
And, well, she said, we got this Pontiac station wagon. Your dad will throw a cage in it, because he worked at a tube mill.
Uh-huh.
And he got the tubing. He said, we'll throw a cage in it, and you'll go out there and go race. So I'm just ecstatic. Well, we didn't end up racing the station wagon. We got a 91 Volkswagen GTI, a little Rabbit 4-cylinder.
Black cars, I recall.
Yeah. And my uncle bought it for me. And so we put the cage in that, and that thing was fast. I'll tell you that. And I think when the first or second night, I ended up rolling it.
I think I remember that.
Right on its lid, right in between 1 and 2. And then I had to get my guts back after doing that. And then we did pretty good in the 4-cylinder. We won 3 features, I don't know how many heats. And then in 2014, we decided to build a bomber. And I took a season off to do that. And we came out in 2015 with the bomber, and it was just a whole different world. It's so hard to try to go from 4-cylinder to front-wheel drive to, rear-wheel drive.
I wish there was.
It's also hard to go from rear-wheel drive to front-wheel drive.
I wish there was a viable rear-wheel drive program. I mean, maybe Mustang 4-cylinders or something.
Right.
Because I think that would probably give the drivers a better feel for what the cars are doing than.
Because you drive them totally different.
Oh, yeah.
Front wheel drive, the rear wheel drive.
Totally different.
So, one of our cameras is messed up. I kind of look like a scary. Actually, it's like an empty studio. There's some weird stuff happening with our camera if you're watching us on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Yeah, our overhead shot just kind of looks like a scary ghost blob with an empty studio. So, as long as one of us are talking, we're all good. So when you started racing the Bomber in 15?
Yeah, 2015.
And did you get a Bomber C or B main win between?
I believe I won 2 or 3 heats that year. I came close to winning a B main, but I blew both right side tires after running over something, and I pulled off. Yeah. And then we came out the following year with a totally different car because I wadded that one up pretty good. And we probably could have saved it, but I was young and dumb at the time, and I just wanted something new. So we got a whole other car, and I didn't like the car at all. I felt like I couldn't do nothing with it. And then in 2017, we bought a new chassis, and a DAS built us a brand new motor. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, it's been pretty good. As long as I can stay off the light poles.
Yeah. So what was the deal Saturday night? I didn't see what led to you getting sideways and going into that dirt embankment by the light pole with the side of your car.
I made an adjustment on the car because I can't leave it alone. I always want to try something new, and Eric always yells at me for fiddling with the car. She says it's already fast, leave it alone, just drive it. So I made an adjustment with the right rear, and it made the car super loose. And at the start of the race, I saw Terry Rushlow poke a nose right underneath me because I started on the pole, and I'm like, okay, I got to protect the bottom, and I gotta go. So we had a restart. I go back to the bottom, and I drive it just a little bit too hard, and I loop it right there in the middle of 1 and 2, and I knew I was going to hit the embankment. And I was like, well, I don't want to hit it with the front end of the car. So I just gassed it, and I didn't anticipate that it would turn me around that fast.
Surprise.
And I hit it right in the door bars, and I couldn't tell from inside the car, but everybody says it came off the ground pretty good.
Yeah, it did. I can tell you that. Did it do much damage? Any suspension damage?
It bent the right rear trailing arm mount, and after we pulled, we managed to finish the heat. We came from the rear and finished second, which is cool because we made the redraw. And we brought it back to the pits, and I saw the right rear trailing arm was bent and bad. Like bad. I didn't know if we should keep going. I said, screw it. So that adjustment that I put in it, I took it back out because I didn't like it.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
And, you didn't need to do it again in the feature.
No. And we went back out there, or we drew a 3 for the feature, and we went out, and within the first lap, we got the lead, and I mean, it was surreal.
You led the entire distance.
And, after every caution, I'm like, all right, this is it,
Was anybody giving you hand signals, letting you know that you were...
my guys, Jordan, Justin, and Kevin, they were waving at me and everything else, but I wasn't paying attention. I probably should have been, but...
Yeah.
No, it was crazy just to be up front and know that you have a pack of wild dogs behind you.
Leading a race is a hard thing to do, Bubba.
Man. And then you just got to, I don't know, I was trying to focus on just hitting my marks, and because I tend to overdrive the car if I see somebody poke a nose, so I'm just trying to hit my marks every time. And
make sure you cover the bottom side of the track. If they want to pass you, do it outside.
Yeah. Which that's where I like to run them the most. All my friends always give me crap they call me a bottom feeder, but that's where I like it.
How many feature races have they won?
Oh. So are you going to make any changes to the car now?
I'm actually leaving that mount bent. I'm just leaving it. I said, if the car was fast Saturday, we'll leave it alone.
Okay. How excited were you to pick up your first Bomber A main?
I was really excited. We've been working at this for a long time, and you can get heat races, you can get B mains, and nothing is as sweet as the A main.
You're beating some tough competitors,
right?
There.
I grew up, watching in the stands Terry Rushlow and Jeff Folks and all them guys that have been out there forever, and to be able to pull it off with them guys, it's crazy. I saw the white flag, and I'm like,
what am I going to do to mess this up?
I'm like, I'm gonna win this thing.
How long did that race seem before you saw the white flag?
It was the longest race of my life. Every time I went around, I was like, where is the white? Like, where is it? We got to be getting close. And then they threw the yellow, or they threw the white, and then they threw the yellow, and I'm like,
oh, here we go.
I got to do this again.
Restarts can be the worst. Those are very stressful.
Yeah.
So, so what you mentioned some drivers' names there, that some tough competitors. What other racers do you look up to or you respect the most? Be it local or even national guys.
Jake Gamber, I look up to him. He helps me out a lot with everything when it comes to tires, anything on the car. He put the whole body on the car for me. Skeet Reckner, he helped me out with some stuff on the car since it was his car, and he pretty much taught me how to drive on a dry slick track, which I appreciate that, because I don't know about anybody else, but driving on a dry slick track it's challenging.
It can be, yeah.
And you got to slow down to go faster.
Yeah, and he told me you got to pretend there's a eggshell underneath your pedal, and don't crack it, and that helps out a lot.
But don't give away too many of the secrets.
Yeah.
So is there any drivers that you feel the opposite about, that you maybe dislike, or
I wouldn't say I don't dislike anybody out there. I mean,
You're just being politically correct. There's somebody you can't stand. You're going, oh, no, I got to race with him. Probably drives like an 8S or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Scott Hammer, man. He's a
that Ocho car
just
is
destroys cars.
So I try to keep friends out there. You know, there's no sense of having enemies out there because then you're getting wrecked and you're wrecking somebody else, and there's no need for it.
You're just out there to have fun.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about. It's have fun.
Absolutely. Speaking of fun, have you been teased about your name? Somebody was telling me some things.
Oh yeah, I mean,
okay.
That's like.
So you still get teased about your name?
Oh, I mean, I'm used to it by now, but yeah, my whole life it's.
Okay.
I mean, there's some ways I can say it. I probably shouldn't say on the radio, but.
So where did Bubba come from? Since your real legal name is William.
That's just what.
How long have you been going by Bubba? Since you were a kid?
Yeah, my mom and dad, and that's what they called me. And I went, when I was going to school, everybody called me William. And when I
Sounds
went to
very
high school,
formal.
Yeah. And then when I went to high school, they called me Will. And then I got a good job at the tube mill my dad worked at. So everybody calls him Bill. So they started calling me Bill Jr. And I mean, family, friends, everybody calls me Bubba. So,
okay. So what's in the plans for the future? I mean, do you plan to keep racing Bomber? Any plans to ever move up?
We're going to keep going as long as the funds are there, but we're on a pretty tight budget. We just bought a house. That's why we took last season off, and we've actually been
where you were.
Yeah,
okay.
We've actually been doing really good because we keep our race car money totally separate from everything else. I don't want to lose my house over the race car. You know what I mean? So as long as the funds are there and we have the sponsors we have, which we have some great sponsors.
Go ahead and give your sponsors some
Spice Electric. He helps me out so much. GT Race Cars, Jake Gamber, Dean Taylor, them guys help me out a bunch. My uncle Daryl, he helps me out a ton. He's actually half owner of the motor. So, I mean...
Well, hopefully he never wants his half back.
I told him, I said, if you want it back, we can cut it right down the middle. And, no, he helps me out, fuel, oil. That's the kind of stuff that keeps me going. And we keep doing good. We have these good finishes. We have enough money for next week, as long as we don't tear up the car.
You can retire. A couple more Bomber A-Main wins, and you can retire.
Oh, Expressions to a T. Sorry. She does all my my vinyl on the car and makes it look good.
So what do you do when you're not racing?
I like to fish a lot.
I mean, what do you do for a living?
I'm a plant operator at Tri-County Block and Brick.
Okay.
So I've been doing that the past 4 years now. So, I mean, it's good.
Some people think that race car drivers that's all they do. They just race, and they can make a living at it.
Well, this summer...
Other than racers that know that that's not the way it works.
Now, this summer we've been working crazy hours and, working 12 hours a day and then coming home and having to put some time in the shop and, time away from our loved ones over here. Gets a little frustrating at times, but...
Where are you at in points?
I was fourth, and then I had 3 bad weeks where I didn't... Yeah. I had... I didn't finish... I had 2 did not finish for the A, and then I ran the B. I won the B. So we were fourth. We went down at, what was it, 8th? Yeah. And now we're back up to 6th. So we're gonna... I'm aiming for top 5.
Okay. So you are running for points, not necessarily the championship, but
I'm definitely running for points.
Okay.
So I mean, we're this close. We're in the top 10. You gotta.
We definitely went first.
Yeah, we weren't running for points at all. I told her, I said, we'll go out there, see how we do, and whatever happens. And we had some good weeks, and we were up there in points. I said, I got to keep going, which is going to suck in September.
Did you know that points were invented by racetrack promoters as a hook to make you feel like you've got to be there?
I didn't know that.
And it works.
Hey, we have a caller.
Really?
Oh, they hung up. I was too late. I wasn't watching, though. the phone there. I suppose I should hang up the phone since it's probably What's your prediction for this weekend for the 11? If you're not making any adjustments,
I'm hoping we do good. I'm not gonna say you never know what's gonna happen out there. I'm just hoping we do good.
How much do you think is determined by the draw, the luck of the draw?
I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, we've had some sucky draws this year, and to be able to have a decent draw. But the thing is, in the heat race, I can draw good, and I can start on the pole of the heat race, and I can loop it and almost roll it on the light pole, or I can throw it into one and hit my shutoff switch. And
oh, that works.
Hammer Down Race Report. Who's this?
This is Brianna Ruby.
What did you want to say to our guest tonight?
Tell him I said he was ahead and good luck this year.
Okay.
I don't think you're allowed to say that on the radio, Brie.
Good thing we're a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear her? You
Yeah,
have your headphones
I
on.
can hear her.
Brianna, former guest of the show as well, too.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brie.
All right, was that it? Are you happy now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
All right. Yeah. It was very added to the conversation there, I think.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Part of the Bubba Cundick fan club.
Excuse me? What did you just say?
There's another name I was called.
Let's move on. We play a game, How Many? Last week we did how many super modifieds are going to be at Sandusky for the High Miler on Saturday. They actually had 23 on Friday night, but they had a little less on Saturday. So the winner with the actual number, he actually guessed this, was...
He nailed it.
Yes, was once again Rusty Schlenk, who won all his races. He won the how many? 21 was the number. So
and his shirt was on tonight's show, and so, hopefully that works for him because he's headed up to Hilltop Speedway. Yeah, their big race weekend.
Cool. So this week I thought we'd do how many bombers are going to be at Oakshade on Saturday, not including Bubba.
We have to deduct one from the total count?
Am I not going to be there?
No, you just don't count toward this. Other than Bubba, how many bombers are going to be there? So whether you show up or not is irrelevant to this number.
Okay.
36.
36 for Ron, okay.
And Bubba would make 37.
I got it. What do you got?
Well, I'm allowed to guess?
Yeah, you have to guess.
Heck
too.
yes. You're expected to guess.
This is why you have no... This is why it's except for Bubba.
I'm going to say 33.
33.
So you're thinking...
Going low.
I'm going to say a little less.
Including you, 34 cars.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess?
I feel like she has a little bit of an upper hand here, but...
I won't.
She's... Kathy, what do you got?
36.
36. Wait, that was already taken by Ron.
You can't have 36. I had 36.
Oh, no wonder what sounded good.
Oh, that's it.
All right, 37.
Fine.
34. 34 for Dez. And I don't have any idea. I'm going to go with 38. That was not taken, right? We're good. Okay. So we'll see. All right, upcoming races. Eldora Speedway tonight. It's already started, 7th Annual Dirt Derby, the NASCAR Gander Outdoor Truck Series, plus the Big Block Invitational for the modifieds. It doesn't even matter when gates open because that was a long time ago.
No, NASCAR trucks are running this race like every short track is run, and how,
as opposed to like they run a regular.
Yeah, and NASCAR
event.
should really consider doing this for all their divisions. They're running heat races right now, and the feature race is going to go off after a little track prep, I guess 9 o'clock sharp.
Coming up tomorrow night, Lima Land. It's the 22nd Annual Lima Land Season Point Championships / Meet the Drivers Night. Non-wing sprints, UMP modifieds, Thunder stocks. Pits open at 4:30, gates at 5, racing at 7:30. General admission just $12 there. Waynesfield back in action, one of their few races this year. Waynesfield Raceway Park down in Waynesfield, Ohio.
Let me guess, it's going to be an open wheel show.
It's the Rick Ferkel Classic featuring the Fast 410 sprints, 305 sprints, and AMSA Lightning mini stocks.
Ooh.
Gates open at 5, racing at 7:45. General admission there is just $18. That is also Friday night. Toledo and Attica both off this weekend. Moving ahead to Saturday, of course, Oakshade back in action with a full show of late model sportsmen, bombers, and compacts. Gates at 4, racing at 7, general admission $14. Flat Rock, it's Corrigan Race Fuels 100. Street stocks will be going 100 laps for their feature. The late model sportsman class will also be in action, as well as bandoleros, TKC go-karts, and there's going to be a kids Power Wheels Derby. Pits open at 2:30, gates at 4:30, racing at 7. $15 general admission at Flat Rock. Also for Saturday night, Fremont Speedway. Pub 400 family night, 410, 305 sprints, and the trucks. And a little bit of extra truck action because they're going to do the makeup feature that got rained out. I think it was from June.
A month ago, yeah.
It was a while ago. So full show for the trucks plus the makeup feature. Gates open at 4, racing at 7, general admission $15. And Sandusky Speedway is also off this weekend.
Really? Why? I wonder why all these places are taking a vacation.
Attica has the fair. Toledo Speedway's not, they don't run a full schedule, and Sandusky's probably recovering from the high miler.
Could be.
And they got a big sprint show coming up, the Must See Sprints.
Oh, yeah.
25th, I believe. And I was talking to, I don't remember, was it Chris or Doug? They want to, we might talk to one of those guys. Not Jimmy McKeon. We've had Jimmy in a couple times, but one of the other drivers we may talk to next week on the show. So, and Ryan Weekman is on vacation. Thanks to Ryan last week. Hopefully you had a chance to check out last week's show. When Ryan
it was
stopped
great.
in.
It was an excellent show.
I think we learned a lot, but I also think Ryan learned a lot because he was not familiar with the whole racing vortex thing. He initially said that was the stupidest thing he ever heard, and then Rusty kind of was like, well, it's never rained when the green flag's been out, so... Has it ever rained when the green flag's been out when you've been racing? You have a little bit more of a history than Rusty.
No, not much.
Not much more of a history?
No. I'm just saying that... that
hasn't happened very often.
Usually when we're running around...
Last week?
It wasn't supposed to rain at all, and during his heat race, it rained.
Oh, it sprinkled like a tiny bit.
I didn't even know it.
Yeah, that didn't count. That doesn't count.
No, there was that incident at Eldora.
Eldora, yeah, when everybody just went into the turn one wall.
Yeah, they wrecked everybody in the heat race. So that's one.
It happened that vortex was not working there.
Yeah, they just weren't going. Well, they were just coming to the green, though, I think. So maybe they hadn't.
I think they were coming to a green after a caution.
Maybe they hadn't initiated the vortex.
That could be it. That makes sense. But I think we taught Ryan some stuff last week, too.
And he still thinks it's bullshit, Scott.
I think so. We're going to have to put a warning on this episode. There's a little mark that says if there's adult content or something, we have to mark that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think that counts. We're
we started
PG-13
off
at most.
talking about hand jobs.
Yeah,
so.
well, which is a legitimate sponsor of the Hammer Down Racing Report Dirty 30 at Sandusky Speedway on October 3rd. Thanks for bringing that up. Or will we see you in the 11C there?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes.
It depends if the car's still going by then, but I mean we can plan on it.
That is that's the Thursday after is the Bomber Spectacular that weekend, or is it the week before?
I think the
like
Spectacular
2 weeks
is
before.
on the 21st.
So okay.
I think.
Either way, you got some time.
So this is like a week and a half after the Spectacular.
I think so, yeah.
Well, we also got a wedding in November. We really got to.
But this
got to crack down on.
But this is on a Thursday.
Yeah,
so
we should be good.
And it's in October, not November.
Yeah.
And it's projected to be 800 to win. Think of taking that home, Bubba.
I've never drove on asphalt, so I don't know what the car would do on asphalt.
We can help.
It does some weird things. I didn't change my setup at all when I ran the hangover race. And it did some weird things. But it went in a circle. You got to drive it a little different.
And he had fun.
It's kind of like, I did have fun. It was very fun. And it's kind of like learning to drive again, because it's like the transition from front-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive where you can't drive it the same way to dirt to asphalt, but it's fun. Anyways, more information.
Slow your hands down a little.
More information on Hammer Down Racing Report Dirty 30. Again, October 3rd, Sandusky Speedway at hammerdownracingreport.com. We're going to be back live next Thursday night, 7 o'clock. lost my pages here. I'm not. I don't have anything planned for next week yet. I'm not sure what we'll do. We'll come with something in. Maybe we'll talk to Must See or.
And it'll be another great show.
Yeah, of course it will. They're all great. The weather forecast for this weekend. Thumbs up. There you go. Ryan,
spectacular. The whole weekend.
We'll make it official. Let's make it official. And now it's time for your weekend weather pit stop. You're good to go.
There we are. That was it, huh?
Friday and Saturday, yeah, it's like 80s and clear and 61 low on Friday. I did look this in the WTOL weather app. Saturday is going to be a little warmer. I think 86 is the high, and then mid-60s for the
tolerable.
Low, yeah, 10% chance of rain on Saturday, but that's like a 90% chance of racing. So I think we're good. I think they just got to throw that in there just in case the off chance that it does happen to rain. If they put a 0 in there, then everybody would be like, "Oh, you guys,
you missed it again."
I'm calling bullcrap on that one. So. Make sure to give Ron Miller Race Cars a call, 734-856-7223. Race Cars, parts, safety equipment, service, everything a racer needs. We're going to get out of here, go watch the Eldora Dirt Derby. Watch some of the ringers that are in there. Who do you think's going to win? You think it's going to be one of the... None of the ringers have actually won one of those races. It's always been a Craftsman truck, or not Craftsman truck, Gander Outdoor Truck Series winner.
I think Matt Crafton...
You think he'll get it?
Yeah. He's looked really good in his modified...
He's almost a ringer, though, because he runs his modified so much.
But he's a full-time NASCAR truck racer, so...
And he was second quick, so he's got probably the best of both worlds going into that.
As long as he didn't do something silly in a heat race.
Well, hopefully not.
Now, I wonder if they line him up by heat race finish or qualifying time.
I didn't look at the thing. It was raining.
Me too.
Wait, what? Oh, Steve says it was raining before the heat. I think he was talking about when... Anyways.
Yeah, all right.
Who do you think's going to win, Bubba?
I'm going to have to go with Crafton.
Crafton. Seems to be the popular choice. Maybe we'll have to get him on the show. I sent an email to Charlie. He never got back to me. I'll have to call him.
We're going to fire him.
Yeah. So, trucks aren't in action next Thursday, are they? We'll try and get Matt Crafton.
I wonder. Now, next week, are they at...
Wait, it was in my notes. I even talked about it.
Are they at Michigan?
No, that's not this weekend. They are
next weekend.
No, I only did Dirt Derby, which is tonight.
Yeah.
So.
No.
Isn't Indy coming up soon? They're at Watkins Glen this weekend.
Yeah.
The other series. So, I don't know. Let's we'll figure it out next week.
Fine.
Let's call it a show. Bubba, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Good luck this weekend. Win number two, because you were on the show.
Because
so
it's got to happen.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
We'll try.
Okay. Good luck. Thank you for coming in. We didn't talk any scoring. I didn't put you on the spot. So, what goes on in the tower stays in the tower. Right? Okay. For Ron Miller, I'm Scott Hammer. We'll see you next week, 7 o'clock, Hammer Down Race
We'll be
Report.
back.
And make sure to listen to us on demand as well. Favorite podcasting platform. Most likely, which should be iHeartRadio. But you can find us elsewhere, too.
Make sure you go to a race somewhere, a local track this weekend.
And bring a friend.
Or two.
There you go. See you next week.
Goodbye.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio. Listen on demand on iHeartRadio.